Welcome to Martian's Motors. Today we're going to be working on the Suzuki. I've got part 2 for you guys today. Today we tackled the coils, we tested them, we put new ones in, put new wires in, we put new boots in, we put new plugs in, we put new Dyna ignition system in. I'm so happy about that. We're going to get this thing to fire today. If you guys never seen me before, no worries. Go on and check out my channel. See if you like any other videos like this. I do work on these things. I do work on the Trans Am this GoPro's sitting on. I do work on a bunch of other stuff. So go check out my channel and see if you like any other videos. If you do, stick around. But I'm going to let you guys get into this one. Alright, so I learned from an old wise guy that a book of matches can be used to gauge how spaced out your stuff should be on old Japanese bikes. So I found out that on the points, you should be able to open it up, put it on paper, and slide it out with a little bit of friction and have it not move too much. So I think this one needs to open up a little bit more. How to do that? I'm not sure at all. So I just have to adjust it on the lobe itself, I think. Learning as I go, okay? Am I a clown? Yes. Wow. That made a huge difference. I'm doing this on my phone so I can focus on the spark. Wow. I'm going to take a spark plug out and we'll see how that changed it. Progress, baby, progress. All right. So that same smart man said that if you take a match from a matchbook, oh, that smells so good. And you can gap the spark plug with the thing. It's actually almost perfect. Spark plug number 4. This is the one that we did not have spark on.
So we currently have no spark at all in cylinder 4.
Well, I think that since I'm already here, I might just go get new spark plugs and call it at that. Just because it was the problem on the Trans Am, because when the Trans Am stopped running, I had some spark, but it didn't have good spark. So I think it was the plugs on that. I got 8 new plugs for that, and it fired right up and ran perfectly fine. But I think that's the problem with this thing. All right, we have got new NGK spark plugs. All right. We have got the new spark plugs in. Here are the old spark plugs. They look pretty bad. Yeah, so as you can see, one, the lead or whatever this is was bent. You can see that it looked perfect. And then 2 and 3 were a little burnt or dirty. I'm not sure why. I think that was just because they were on the inside. I'm not quite sure. But 4 was fine. All right, well, we are going to see how bright this spark is. Very minimal. Looks like the old ones. All right, let's see how spark number 3 is. Yeah, we should take a little bit of time away. I got a bad idea. Cylinder number 3 had about the same spark as last time. I don't know. Well, this side isn't sparking at all. Well, I will see you guys when I have new parts. So, while I was in Florida, I pulled the trigger on a set of coils and boots and wires. So, I'm going to be tossing these in. We're going to test them first, test the old ones next to it, and see how they compare. Thank you so much to Motorcycle MD. He's got a great video on testing coils. I really recommend watching that one. All right, so here we have the old coils and one of the new coils. I've got my voltmeter here, and I'm going to test the old ones and compare them to the new ones. So I've got the 1 in 4 coil here. So I take I'm gonna put it on the 600 ohm setting. I take my positive, I'm gonna put it on the power wire. And the Suzuki GS1000, 79 Suzuki GS1000 manual, service manual says that the coil spec should be 4 ohms, plus or minus 10%. And I am getting a reading of 3.6. So that is barely within spec. So let's test the other one. The other one is also 3.6. So the coils themselves are within spec. Let's test the new coil. The new coil is a reading of 3.6. So we've got good coils. So my coils themselves were good. I'm glad that I tested those because I think it's the contacts. Not 100% sure though. We'll see how it goes after replacing these, because I think these boots were bad, so I took them off. So I think it's either the boots and wires, who knows, but I think that we're going to toss these new coils in. We'll see how that goes. So that's good to work. Oh my goodness, it's cold. Anyways, today we're back on the Suzuki. We have the new coils installed. Look, they look nice. I've got them all wired up, cleaned and tucked away. I am the professional. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these wires, hook it up to one of the cylinders, see how good the spark is. If it's real good and it's a lot better than what we had, then we're going to know that the coils was the problem. If not, we're going to move on to the points and the contacts and get a new ignition distributor type thing. We are going to get these things wired up with the new boots that we've got. So we're going to put the boots on the wires and get going on that. On these boots, you're kind of just going to screw them into the wire as much as you can, because you'll see in these little boots, it'll have little screws. You screw that into the wire, and it just kind of pushes the connection together so that you have a screwed on connection, basically. We've got this one screwed on. Let's see if we got spark. So it's kind of a very weak, sporadic spark. It kind of looks like how it did, which is not good because I spent money on coils, which I didn't want to, but it's a cheap bike, so it's okay. So I think the next point of action is to buy a new distributor / contacts. It's not good. I really didn't have to want to do that because it's like 180 bucks, but it will be reliable and good and will work. So I'm so sorry about not posting this week. I'd rather get the project done and something entertaining for you guys to watch instead. Well, I pulled the trigger on a new ignition system. So I got a Dyna ignition system with all the points and stuff that I was talking about last time. So I'm going to swap these boots and maybe trim up the wires a little bit and see how they look. And then we'll get that new ignition system on. So I'm so excited for that thing. I've been wanting it for so long. And it's going to be reliable, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I don't have to worry about coils, plugs, ignition, and then I can rebuild the motor at some point. So, bye for now. Oh my goodness. Today is the day that I finally get the ignition for the Suzuki. Wow. All right. Oh, stickers. Dyna. Whoa. All right, so I assume that I'm keeping some of these stock parts in there. Mother bitch. Okay, so I believe there is a PDF installment saying Suzuki. Alrighty. I assume I'll hold that and break that loose. Yep. So you remove this. Remove the 3 screws holding the points plate to the engine. Disconnect the black and white point wires where they plug into the wire harness and remove the entire point plate assembly. Alrighty. We found it. What the hell is that? So we've got black, white. So white to white and black to black. Alright, let's move on to taking off this plate. It's fun. Alrighty. Here lies the old points and contact system. Fun stuff, eh? Alright. Now we're supposed to keep this plate, I know that. Remove the spark advance assembly from the engine. That would be this. Remove the points cam from the advance assembly. Coat the advance assembly shaft with oil. While holding it with the 1/4 side pointing up, slip the Dyna S rotor over the shaft. Alright, there's a magnet apparently on this 1/4 inch diameter that should be pointing. There it is. I see it. Should be pointing left. I got it. So the 1/4 side is facing up and the magnet is to the left. Yes. Okay. Install the advanced rotor assembly on the engine, making sure that the pin on the advanced assembly is engaged with the pinhole on the crankshaft. Reinstall the hex washer and bolt and tighten. Ensure that the rotor is still free to rotate. So back on the keyed little pin. Correct. You're supposed to reinstall the hex washer and bolt and tighten. Alright. Ensure that the rotor is still free to rotate. Install the Dyna S using the 3 screws previously removed and tighten. New parts, baby. New parts. Come on. There we go. Flashlight's dying. Oh, shit. I was supposed to have this in there, wasn't I? Fine then. Quit on me. I don't need you. I'm just kidding. I love you, baby. Dirty hoe.
Dirty hoe. I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
Route the cable over to where the points originally plugged in. On the old one, this little guy, slit it with a razor blade. That's not sealing. What? I'm gonna get these wires routed up. I'll see you guys in a. Connect the black and white wires to receptacles where the original points connected, matching the colors. Remove the fuel tank, locate the 2 ignition coils. There's an orange-white wire coming from each coil to a common junction in the wire harness. These wires create a switch 12 volts to the coils using the splice connectors provided. Attach a separate red wire included in the kit to the orange-white wire that goes to the coils from below. Do not strip the wires. Man, do I love it when wires come together nicely and not confusing. Alright, so there's an orange and white wire connects to the coils. This freaking frame, dude, is massive and in the way. So, we might cut open this freaking harness. Yep. Cutting it open. Well, I got a connection, but I just don't understand these freaking crimp things, so the cover keeps popping off. You know, maybe later on the road I'll get the Dyna coils, because these things kind of suck, and I don't know which wire goes to which. So at some point I probably will be getting some new coils, but for right now. So that should be a correctly mounted and wired Dyna ignition system. Let me show you what I got. All right, we have got the Dyna S ignition system that replaces the points and contacts. Got a new cam or whatever you call it for the spark advance. There's the old one. We've got the wire plumbed or routed in the factory route. I've got this red connection here. I know it looks a little bit funky, but I'll be rerouting it and tucking it away. Black to black, white to white. And then we've got the orange and white wire coming from the coils spliced to the red one that comes with the kit. Let's see how good the spark is now. All right, we've got 2 or whatever this thing is. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah! Oh my goodness. That is awesome. That is really good spark. All right, we're gonna try this again. Watch the spark to the engine. That's how you know it's good spark. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to get this thing back together. I have to put spark plugs in, spark plug boots back on, and we're gonna see if it fires off of brake cleaner. So I'll be back. According to my calculations, the right wire should be cylinder 4 and the left wire should be cylinder 1 on the left coil. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Good enough for me, good enough for the connection, and like good buddy always says, good enough for the girls I date. Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, we've got spark plug wires routed. Spark plugs are in. Let's spray some brake cleaner over those pod filters and see if we can start this thing. We're going to take one of these filters off, see if that makes a difference. That's not cool. I don't like that. This is the size of the carb intake, and this is the size that it narrows down to. Look at that. That's not, I don't like that. What the fuck is that? eBay special is what that is, baby. All right. I think it's dead. We'll come back to that. Alrighty. Here we are back on the Suzuki today. Charged battery. We're going to see if this thing fires. It wanted to. Did you hear that? Oh. Heck, now my charger is indicating a bad battery, which I bet you if I threw this in the 750 it would start right up. But it was trying to fire though. Freaking A, man. Well, not sure exactly what my problem is now. I did hear it fire. That was the goal, and that was the promise. I don't really promise you guys anything, but that was my goal, was to get this thing to fire. And I did. Barely. So, over the next month, I'm going to transform this bike into a runner. Yeah, runner, yeah, track star. And we're going to put the gas tank on. We're going to get the fuel lines all plumbed up. We're going to get the bike actually running. Hopefully when it's warm enough, because it's supposed to be warming up here pretty soon. Who knows if that'll actually happen. But for now, I'm really happy with how this came out. I got some really cool stuff on the bike. I'm really happy about this Dyna ignition system. I've always wanted this since I got this bike because it's been so reliable and it's so simple and electronic. I don't know why I like that so much. We got NGK spark plugs in there. We got some wires and with new coils. I'm not sure how good I feel about those coils. I might get some Dyna coils in the future, but that'll be later on. The next video after we get it running, after the next one after this, we are going to change the carb. We're going to tune the carb to get some new pod filters for a new exhaust, maybe a 4-into-1. And we're also going to get some new jets and stuff and needles so that we can tune this thing to spit some flames, I hope. But for now, I'm really happy with this. I have spark again. I have good spark again and something that can help this thing run. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if it was a little boring. I found it pretty fun, aggravating. Did a bunch of work for nothing on this freaking old points and contact system. I did a lot of work for nothing. No worries. If you guys like this stuff, please stick around. If you don't, let me know. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.